Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Royal News Network Saturday morning live stream. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic, wonderful, and amazing Saturday. It has been a busy week for me as I'm getting ready to head out of town. So I feel like it's always a level of chaos as you're trying to do that. That is just really, really hard. So, anyways, guys, welcome to the live stream. I hope you guys are all having or had a fantastic Thanksgiving weekend. And for all of those of you in the rest of the world, I hope you had a great week. And we'll just start off here with Lisa Schroeder, one of our members, says, "Good morning from freezing cold Iowa, everyone." Yes, it feels like winter has finally hit a bit. And I'm like, oh no. So we do have a Jeffrey here starting off. Hello, Vandals. Who here has visited Gort's Traveling Horse Arena? I don't know what that's referring to. So maybe you're on the wrong stream. I don't know. Lizzie B says, hi, everyone. Azima says, can't make the lives. I'm working today. We'll watch later. Oh, yeah. And I usually do kind of a what's happened this week type thing. So we do have obviously Catherine upcoming. She will be there for the Qatar state visit, only though for sort of the welcoming ceremonies and the lunch. She will not be there for the state banquet. She obviously does have as well her Christmas concert on Friday, and she will be doing that, just recording. It will air obviously on Christmas Eve. And so I will be down there in London, hopefully right outside Westminster, hopefully to catch some of the arrivals. We'll see how that goes. We also have as well Harry and Meghan, like the weird separation, personal versus professional, all that stuff has gotten really kind of crazy. And so I realized, okay, there we go. Trying to adjust my light because the sun's coming in really, really hard from one angle. And then we also have so with Harry and Meghan and everything, people are wondering, are they separated? Are they not? There was like this confusing, it wasn't confusing, but I feel like Sussex stands were like, well, they've never said they're doing a professional separation. I'm like, yeah, they kind of did. They told People Magazine, they were pretty explicit about it. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. So we have had, I don't think we've had any other appearances from them, although they are expected to do a couple of things next week, of course, to coincide or compete with the state visit. But of course, when you have tiaras, anything Harry and Meghan do is just not that interesting, to be quite honest. And then we do also have, obviously, the upcoming state visit between Belgium and Oman as well. And then we have a couple other things. Obviously, the case with Marius in Norway keeps getting crazier. And we have just so many things going on. So let's go ahead and get over to Azima's question. We do have a special guest. Miss Pippa. Miss Pippa wants to say hi to everyone this morning. Say good morning, Miss Pippa. Good morning. Did you eat breakfast? I left you breakfast downstairs. We don't know if you ate it yet. Okay, so Azima says, state visit from Qatar. Catherine will be there. Yes, she will. But it is one of those things where she will only be there for part of the event, not all of the event, which is unfortunate, but it is. Tubes, stop calling our future queen Kate Middleton. Princess Catherine of Wales deserves respect. Okay, it's not that. It's the YouTube algorithm. And the algorithm, basically everything. Every major publication uses Kate Middleton. They just do, because that's how people know Meghan. That's how people know Catherine. That is just the case. Also, sometimes it's space. So sometimes I have to do it. So I put Kate Middleton in there because most people, that's what they Google. That's just reality. So it's just one of those things where that's just life, guys. You just got to get that up. Until she becomes queen, they'll still call her Kate Middleton. They'll still probably call her Kate Middleton when she's queen. It just is what it is. Because to the broader public, now, if you're a royal watcher, you know it's Catherine, the Princess of Wales, which is too long to put in a title, really. But the vast majority of the public doesn't know that. They call her Kate Middleton because that's how they met her. That's how she became engaged in the pop culture, was through the use of the name Kate Middleton. And so until she becomes queen, that may change, but it may honestly not change either. She may be Queen Kate, Queen Catherine, or they may still call her Kate Middleton. I don't know. Queen Kate would be the shortest because title space is an issue in YouTube. So it's complicated. But I do use Kate Middleton because, again, that's what most people Google. Sorry. Azima says, Brit says it's the YouTube algorithm. Yes, it is. So Vlata says, "Hi everyone from Croatia. Cozy afternoon. This feels like a ritual at this point. Hot chocolate, warm blanket, waiting for some royal news." Yes, and I do apologize for being a bit late. It's just like been crazy, and I was like up late last night doing a best and worst address list for like the last month and a half. It feels like on the fashion channel. I was up doing that really late last night. Okay, we have Allison. Good morning, everyone. Enjoy some Nutcracker and RNN at the same time. Safe travels on your trip. Why, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. It's always just so an element of chaos, and I had to travel. I travel with a decent amount of like camera gear. So actually today sometime I had to go over and I ordered more of these SD cards and I have to go get them because they were cheap and on sale and they're expensive, and it's just easier to have new ones sometimes. I really need to just clear off my old ones and then like use my old ones, but sometimes I like just don't do that. I have like a whole stack of like SD cards from when I used to film just with the camera and not through the computer. So I'm actually enjoying my new system, although sometimes it gives me troubles, but Renee says, "Good morning, everyone. I'm finally going to be able to enjoy live fully." Deborah says, "Good morning from cold Alabama." George says, "Good morning from North Carolina." Maggie says, "As my Catherine Princess of Wales will be greeted by His Royal Highness Sheikh Ataman with Prince of Wales, a procession of carriages to Buckingham Palace to meet the King and Queen." They might do, I'd have to look again. They usually do an inspection of the guards over at sort of the place where they do Trooping the Colors. So they may do that, they may not, or they may just go directly. So it depends. Maggie says, "But Princess Catherine will not be at the state dinner." She will not. Karen says, "Hello, everyone from chilly northeast of California." I almost said Florida, but that's where K Coffee is. We got Ritz. Good morning from Chicago. We got Elizabeth. "Hope all my Americans friends had a happy Thanksgiving. Wishing you a great weekend from cold but sunny Manitoba, Canada." And you guys had a Thanksgiving too. It was just in October. So happy Thanksgiving belated to you as well. Elizabeth says, "Can't wait to see Catherine at the state visit." Rich says, "Having some Greek yogurt with leftover cranberry sauce, and it's delish." Mariana says, "Watching live today, had to wake up early to go to my job my once a month job." Well, that's kind of nice. You only had to give up early once a month to go. Kristen says, "Good morning, R&M family. Finally chilly in Houston, Texas." And so it was, says Brittany, "I love your videos, but why are you calling Catherine Princess of Wales Kate Middleton? It's a bit it's not disrespectful, guys. It's just how the public knows her. It just is. It just is." So Jessica said, "Good morning, sunny from sunny and chilly Dane County, Wisconsin." Evelyn said, "Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving day. Power to the Princess of Wales. Cannot wait to see her." It'll be interesting to see if she again is in her high heels or still more of her mid heel length. Because for a couple events, she did sort of go to a more mid length, which is a bit unusual for her because usually she likes the high heels. And so for her first couple of public engagements, since obviously going through treatments, she went with a lower heel. So I'd be curious if she goes with a higher heel. Oh, Ashley Claire says, gave us a tip and said, "Good morning from freezing Mississippi." Well, I hope you are able to stay warm. Yes, it's like feels like it's freezing everywhere. I actually did this weekend, very excitingly, because I wanted to make sure I had the best jacket possible. This will be difficult to travel with because it is kind of big, but I finally got a jacket. It was on sale for a great price. Only at one store though. It wasn't even on sale online from the North Face. And so I tested it out last night because it was pretty chilly when I went to walk Pippa, and it seemed to keep me really warm. So I was very pleased about that because there'll be some events where I'm standing outside in the cold for a while. And it's like you can kind of walk around and get warm. It's really hard though, especially thinking of the Christmas concert when you're just in one spot and you just stay there. That's really hard to keep warm. So Terry also gifted 5 Royal News Network memberships. Thank you so much, Terry. And you guys will definitely be seeing some special coverage as I take my travels around Europe. I still have some things to sort of nail down. I think I have like a day and a half, 2 days maybe, where I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Just keeping my ear to the ground and seeing if there's a royal event that's worth going to after the Dutch finish up their state visits. So we shall see. K Coffee says, "I almost forgot my mocha for the live, and now I'm ready." Ruth said, "Good morning, R&M family from cold, snowy Kalamazoo, Michigan." Oh, Cheryl T, thank you so much for the tip. Good morning, Brittany and Miss Pippa in Texas this weekend. Hope all had a great Thanksgiving. Pray for your trip is awesome and the journey's boring. No drama. Yes, no, no drama at all. I plan on I think I'm probably going to do mostly trains if I can get away with it. I like prefer airline travel overall because it's obviously faster and more efficient in some ways. But I have 2 bags, rolling bags. One of them is a camera bag. And so I think I will be better off doing trains because every airport in Europe, because every country is different. Obviously, there's multiple airports in the same country, but sometimes the airport regulations are different. So sometimes I have to take all my camera gear out of my bag, and that sucks. Really, really sucks. So I'm hoping that if I stick to mostly trains, hopefully I don't have to do that. So, because it just really stinks to take out all my camera gear because I got a lot of camera gear. So I'm talking about like lenses and the cameras themselves. I got 2 cameras packed, but I'll take a smaller camera. I may take my other camera I'm using right here. I may take that one too. So that would be 3 cameras. Yeah. 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 They all have a different purpose, I think. Ruth says, good morning, RNN family from cold. Oh, okay. I already read that. Few Long says, hi from Huntington Beach, California. We got Roxanne. Good morning, all from NYC. Tanya says, good morning, friends. Hope all is having a blessed weekend. Brandy says, good morning, Brittany and Pippa from cold Ohio. Liz E., good morning from cold Oshkosh, Michigan. Sorry, Wisconsin. Goodness gracious is me. Sorry, guys, my brain. I've been having a couple of late nights, so my brain is a little bit fried. So Jessica said, good morning from chilly southern Minnesota. We have Sherelle. Good afternoon, everyone. We got Missy from Kentucky. We got Paz. Hey, Paz. Hello, Brittany, Miss Pippa, and to the RNN family. All right, we have Caro. Good afternoon from the Netherlands. We have Anna Million. Good afternoon, everyone. And we have Kelly from Ontario. We have Adopt GDX from Alberta. We have Anna Million there from Swindon. We have Evelyn from we're having a heat wave, 35 degrees in southern Massachusetts. Oh, that sounds really warm right there. K Coffee says, I miss the snow. Moved to Florida from Colorado 4 years ago. I lived in a place with a decent amount of snow. Don't miss it. Like, I don't mind if it snows once and I don't have to leave my house. That I'm fine with. I hate having to leave my house after it snows because people, especially if it's a place where you either have a lot of transplants from warm weather states or just people not used to it, nobody knows how to drive in the snow. And so it's just, or you don't have enough plows and stuff. It's just crazy. Betty says, good morning from Oklahoma. We got Gem Girl. Good afternoon, everyone from Bath. And Daryl says, good morning, all from Alberta. In the teens here, minus teens. Oh, gosh. Mary says, good morning from Chile, Texas. 39 degrees this morning. Karen says, it's cold here in Washington State. Definitely a cold snap here in the country. Tea Time with Mima says, good morning from snowy Vermont. Betty says, 46 degrees in Oklahoma. We got Panagotia from Greece. You have Star Child Jazz. Good morning from sunny Houston. You have Creative Chaosify says, hello, Brittany and Arnhem fam. We have a super chat here. Thank you so much, Kristen. Brittany, your coverage of the Princess of Wales is respectful. If you have to call her by her maiden name to attract future watchers, do what you have to do. Why, thank you. And yes, that is actually a way to do it. Is just because what I do is I title everything based on the search engine, really. And so I try to put as many keywords in there as possible. And the reason is so that more people find the content. That's just it. So I tried to kind of split the baby, if you will, and say Princess Catherine or Princess Kate. And then, Kate Middleton in parentheses, because honestly, that's what people are searching for a lot of times. So hopefully people who maybe don't know as much about royals see the videos and they get more interested or they understand more of the context and stuff. So it's just one of those things that sometimes you got to do certain things. And that's one of the things that is just not really easy to get away from. So it is what it is. But yes, Catherine, it's just like one of those complicated things where it's just really hard to get the name change going. It's just, especially for I would say more an American audience and those sorts of things, it's just hard to get the name change going. And especially when somebody, their name is going to change again. If it's kind of like one last name change, I think that'll stick better. But you got to think of the search engines and everything. And it's like, okay, so it was started out Kate Middleton, then it was the Duchess of Cambridge. Now it's the Princess of Wales, and then it'll eventually be Queen. So that's just an additional complication that most people just don't have to deal with. So it's sort of an interesting thing, but yeah, maybe the engines will get better at some point. But I try to be able to share as much content as possible with people searching for things. Hell Bell says, definitely cold here and wet in the UK. Bring your weatherproof clothing when you come. Oh, yes. I have basically my gear is like snow gear. I'm going to be quite honest. I have mostly snow gear because essentially like it's weatherproof. It works pretty well. And that's essentially what you have to go with. Because it's hard because it could definitely snow in Germany and the Czech Republic where we're going to be at. So it's like I got to pack for the snow. Like I can't avoid that. But at the same time, it's hard too because I bring shirts for everyone who's on the trip. That's kind of part of the traditional things I do. And I came up with a really cool design, although I'm really mad at myself because I should have gone with long sleeve. Just went with my usual short sleeve. I just was not thinking. That's the only thing I'd be like, darn, I should have changed that. But anyways, so it's going to be good. Lydia, love from Warsaw, Poland. We got Gretchen the first. Morning all from Massachusetts. Woke up to a dusting of snow on the roof. Thank goodness for hot coffee. Yes, Faith said, I think William looks like an action man when he is with the Welsh Army last week. He did look good. Pat Lane says, good morning from Colorado. We got Mariana. Are you catching a cold, Brittany? No, it's just allergies. Seasonal allergies are just really, really hard for me. So it's just one of those things. I can't get away from it. It's just crazy. All right, we got another tip coming in here from Cyber Maven Media. Hi, Brittany, Miss Pippa, and fellow RNNers. It's super chilly, 46 degrees in Tallahassee. Time for hot cocoa and catching up with on royal news. Yes. Oh my gosh, 46 in Tallahassee. Yeah, you guys must be freezing. I think there was something where I have a Facebook friend who now lives in Florida, and they're like, they feel the need when it's like 60 to like bundle up in a parka. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely different than where you were before because I lived in the same spot and it was definitely cold. So it's just one of those things that you sort of learn. So yeah, hopefully you are able to keep warm. And I have my jacket. I'm it's like even rated Arctic. It's even called Arctic in the name. So it's like I should be pretty good here. Because that's like one of my things. It's like standing outside in the cold, 40s, 30s for maybe several hours. It's like you gotta have the best gear possible. Otherwise, you're gonna have a tough time. All right, we have more word salad with those two behind and hide behind what's really going on nonsense. Yeah, it's kind of crazy with Harry and Meghan and all the stuff going on with them. They are definitely so much word salad, so much nonsense, so many different leaks and stuff and commentaries to like people. It's kind of crazy. All right, we have a JGH. Good morning from very cold Olympic Valley, California. We have MK from Colorado. Lizzie, even without tiaras, nothing they do is interesting. It's not really. What's interesting is how because what I focus on, at least for the whole debacle with ARO, is just how bad it is. Like you just watch sort of the train wreck and you're just more analyzing the train wreck more than anything else. We got Becky from Colorado. Missy says, hi, Pip. Rich says, baby Pip. K Coffee says, Miss Pippa from my Annie. Adopt GDX says, I saw Angela Levin interviewed. I didn't watch the entire thing. And Angela said Meghan Markle had said that at the Afghan women event that she and Harry were professionally separated. Seems so strange. I don't think she said it at that event, but it was definitely in a People magazine article specifically saying professional separation. Basically, they're going their own ways professionally. Like it was in their People magazine. If you don't know, is basically like their articles are basically written by the celebrity's PR person. So like I have no doubt it came directly from Harry and Meghan. And we've actually seen this play out. Meghan doing her own thing, Harry doing his own thing since about September. So it's very obvious that they are going their separate ways because as a power couple together, they didn't work. And just professionally, their projects are pretty much now all separate. I mean, I don't understand why Meghan is an executive producer on his Polo series, but he can't be an executive producer on her ARO series. Because if that thing is a success and he's not executive producer, he won't really make anything from it. But she can make something off his stuff, which I think is a little suspect if I was Harry. But she might not have been an executive producer on the Invictus Games documentary, which is an absolute bomb. So we'll see. Like maybe the tawdriness of the Polo will attract viewers. I just don't think it will. Princess Goose said, good morning, Brittany and Pip. Pippa and Brittany. Panagoitia says, I personally think that they live separate lives, even if they haven't talked divorce yet. Yeah, I think they definitely, I mean, they're such different people. That's always what I've come back to when it comes to their relationship is that they're so different that, like, I can't imagine them being, like, passionately together, you could say. I just don't see it. They don't have anything in common. They have immensely stressful lives in a lot of ways. It's self-imposed stress, but it is stress for sure. So, yeah. Ivana says, "Hello, beautiful Brittany. You are beautiful inside and out." Why, thank you. Saying hello from Australia, and soon when you go to trip to Prague as part of your tour, say hello uh, from me because I was born. Hello there from me because I was born. Awesome. Yeah, I'm like, super excited to go. I have never been to Prague and I've never been to northern Germany, so I'm super stoked. Heather says, it seems like you are catering to the ignorant people that can't be bothered to get her name straight. No, no. And you're calling like the vast majority of the public and every mainstream publication ignorant? They're not. They just know people. That's just reality. Horror Beauty FX says, yeah, I made it to a live good morning from northern snowy Michigan. Hello. Adopt GDX says, I think the Kate Middleton thing is completely American. In the UK, she's the Princess of Wales. Kind of, yeah. It depends on the publication, though, in the UK. Like the Times of London and the Telegraph will go more with the Princess of Wales. But even sometimes if you put in Princess of Wales in Getty Images, the first thing that pops up is always Princess Diana. It always is. And yeah, so that's just kind of the thing. But yeah, all the American publications, they use Kate Middleton. Pretty much probably all the Australian ones use it. Only like the more highbrow, you could say UK publications, that's what they use. You know, even in the headlines of articles in the UK, they'll always say Kate, like on the printed newspapers, because of a spacing issue. Catherine's just long. So Kate is shorter. So they use Kate. They use Will. Like that's just kind of life. So I don't think it's anything to get super twisted about. That's just my personal opinion. Terry says, good morning from Dallas. Faith says, I think Meghan waited until Harry turned 40 years old and got his inheritance payout. It's not that much, really. Like they need 80 million to keep going, not just 8 million. 8 million is not going to get them very far with the outrageous bills they have. That probably actually covers just their living expenses for a year. And for some people, they could live off that for the rest of their lives. It only lasts Harry and Meghan a year based on what they're going through in terms of money. So Missy says, I hope Harry doesn't divorce. They deserve each other. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, he's stuck with her and he's stuck with me in the United States. Because when you choose wrongly, especially somebody who's not from your country, you're really, really screwed. Just saying. Wendy says, hi, Brittany and Miss Pippa from Plymouth, UK. Big Wolves from Stan the Jack Russell. Daryl says, I transfer all the SD cards to a portable HD. Yeah, I mean, I do have portable hard drives and stuff. Actually bought a new one. But I don't know. I'm like always superstitious. Like if I delete stuff off of it, I'm like, can I get back? Did I make sure I have like backups to the backups to the backups? It's just crazy. Lisa says, good morning from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. God save the king. Yes. Gretchen says, the snow already melted. It's just shocking the first time of the season, but at least it's almost December. Yes. Stephanie says, hi, everyone from Hobart, Tasmania, Queen Mary's hometown. Yes, it's 2:10 a.m. Sunday here, headed to bed. Feeling sorry for all the cold people. It's going to be the max of 26 degrees Celsius, 79 degrees there. Oh, a little jealous. Tammy says, good morning, RNN. Proud mama moment. My son, who's studying in England, just got nominated for a prestigious Water Sprite Award for Best Movies and Musical Score. Well, like, congratulations, Tammy. That's amazing. Congrats to your son. That is awesome. I love musical scores. I think they're so fun. It's there. I just love it. All right. So Creative Chaosify, is Marius still in jail? Will there be a trial? So yes, Marius was released earlier this week from jail. It was only a week's time that the prosecution could hold him because he hasn't been to trial yet. The reason was that they were worried that he was either tampering with evidence, trying to maybe intimidate witnesses or something. So that's why they kind of wanted him in a jail so that he stopped messing with things, basically. So he is officially out. He will officially go to trial at some point. We don't know quite when that will be. And so we shall see where that goes. So it's just a sad case, I think, overall. Just a very, very sad case. All right. Sarah says, hi from reigning Ireland. Mon-RE, I agree. One should think long-term when stepping on the world stage. Kate should have been officially Catherine at that time. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, they tried to, but I mean, it was really sort of the media that went with that, and it is just shorter. I don't know if she could have actually made it stick as Catherine. I think they've tried a time or two, it just never stuck. So it's just kind of one of those things where you just kind of have to embrace it. Otherwise, I think you'll just go out of your mind. Like, I think if I was personally Catherine, like if I stewed all the time about, oh, I want to be called Catherine, they just call me Kate. And you think about that all the time, you're going to go out of your mind. So the easiest way forward, honestly, is just to accept the thing you can't change really and just move on and just hope at some point it's the ship kind of rights itself. And she played the long game with dating William and the press and everything, and it worked. And I think the long game here is going to work too. So it's just one of those things though, where it's just going to take people a while. The internet, a lot of articles with her just as Kate Middleton. So it's just hard. Yeah. Mademoiselle says, good morning from Chesapeake Bay. P News C says might get snow later tonight. Ooh. Jess says good morning, Brittany, and everyone from Boston. Mon-RE kids, I would put forth that even switching from K to a C is too difficult for most. I love Catherine. Yeah, it's just one of those. It's just one of those weird things. Crime and to solve it, you need to close the curtains. It's distracting. Yeah, sorry. I usually like the extra light that comes in. Now the light's kind of finally sort of settled. So that's where it is. All right. Alethea says, hi from Perth, Australia. Looking forward to what tiaras will be worn. There's some nice pieces gifted from Qatar to Her Late Majesty the Queen that I'd like to see again. Ooh, that's a good point. Princess Goose says, I'm surprised the Sussex Squad hasn't said we haven't seen Kate much because William and Kate are splitting up. Yeah, the Sussex Squad, the poor Sussex Squad. They just have such a hard time and tough time because they have to, obviously they are supporters of Harry and Meghan, and that is a tough road to plow. That's a tough road to plow. Because like the numbers don't lie. That's why I love doing the that's why I love doing the recent video I did with the numbers, saying just like the numbers don't lie, because it's true. The numbers don't lie. Like you can say how much you want that Harry and Meghan are loved and that everything they do it's fantastic and performs well and everything. But when you look at the hard numbers for Netflix, that two of their series, two of them, 2 out of the 3 didn't even pop up on what we watched, means that not even there were 100,000 views for them. They did really poorly. Somebody else even tried to tell me once, oh, part of Invictus was a huge smash success. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It verifiably wasn't. You just even have to look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. It wasn't a hit. Yes, maybe some reporters gave it a good review, but that doesn't mean it was a hit. We've seen this a lot recently where something's been reviewed positively and it absolutely bombs. Why? Because people don't trust the reviewers anymore oftentimes, at least the mainstream corporate media ones. So Lisa Trinity says, hi, Brittany. I love your show. You put out some great information to keep us all updated. Do you think that the Harkles will ever produce documents proving that Meg actually gave birth to Archie? No, I honestly, I've never really liked the surrogacy stuff. I just think it's a little bit ridiculous. Meghan wanted to play games. And this is the results. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That is what has happened to Meghan Markle. And she could obviously prove it, but some people will still probably not believe it. But almost it's like she probably likes the speculation, to be quite honest. So Rich says, I insist that everyone call me ma'am. Yeah, Meghan, apparently that is what she insists people call her. Vlatka says, how do I become an RNM member? So it depends on what country you're in, but there should be on the page like a little thing that says join if you want to join. Linda says, good evening from the Philippines. Suzanne Young said, made it to a live good morning from Chile, Houston. Beamer and Bentley send meow meow greetings to Pippa. Meow meow, Miss Pippa. Oh, she wants down now. Okay, there we go. Carol says, hi from the Netherlands. Flicking Bollock says, good afternoon, everyone from Yorkshire, England. Face says, I think Prince William looked like an action man figure doll that my brother had about 40 years ago when he was with the Welsh Army last week. I am in the UK, so you may not know in the US. That is sweet, though. I like that. All right. Catherine said, good morning from Arizona. We got Polly. Good morning, Brittany. Lizzie says, I'm looking on a more positive side that possibly Catherine is not at the dinner because one of the kids has an event that evening. Could be true, but honestly, really, they go to a lot of the kids' events. A state visit, which only happens twice a year, should always supersede it. Pretty much. I'm sorry, it should. So I doubt that's really the issue. I just wonder if it's more of a dietary thing that she's still dealing with the effects of her surgery, because she did have major abdominal surgery and that could affect, her digestion or something like that. And so she's trying to avoid some of those type of events due to that specific issue. So she may still be recovering from it, saving up her strength for the Christmas carols event. We shall see. All right. We got Shadish from cold but dry and sunny Virginia. We got C&K Cribs. Good morning from Georgia. Bright but chilly. I'm Lamia says, will you meet Dan when you go to London? That's sort of the plan. We shall hopefully be able to meet up. It'll be a pretty busy little period for sure, because I'll be like popping here, there, and everywhere. Hopefully that's the idea. Babette says trains in Europe are pretty good in my experience. Yes, they are. They're excellent in Europe, and I like them because they don't make me take all my stuff out. Ava says, good morning, Brittany and friends from Arizona. All right. Luxie says, good evening from KwaZulu, Natal, South Africa. Yes. Oh, Ivana says, thank you for your gift of membership. It's very generous of you. I love Brittany's channel. Have a great day, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Flicking Bollocks says, is Pippa there? Yes, she is. Pippa Papa. Yes, she is. And I'm so glad, Ivana, that you got a membership. That's so exciting. Okay, so I did answer that question earlier. Faith says hello from London. Scout says, and little Nate, good day, RNM family. All right. So we have Kiki says, greetings to Brittany, Miss Pippa, and all RNM family from not so sunny Manchester, UK, to me and Montague and Lulu. Elizabeth says, oh my, the Norwegian royal family has its hands full with their son. I hope he gets the help he needs and gets past his criminal behavior and those friends. Yeah, like it's almost to the effect of that he might actually have to, let's say, leave the country in order to get away from his friends. Like, because they say sort of when you are somebody who has been to prison and you're back, like you kind of almost have to change your friendship groups, because if your friends are the ones encouraging, let's say, your addiction or your criminal behavior or something like that, you need to sort of get away from them. And I think that's where he's at. It's only me watching says, I live in the deep south, and when it snows, they close down the whole city. Yep. I have lived in those places, in different places. So it depends on where you're at in the country. Yeah, because there's some places where it can snow. It's just so rare that they just don't have plows. They don't have plows to get to certain places, and it's hard. It's hard. Faith says, I think Meghan waited until okay, we had that question or comment earlier. Good morning, Brittany, Miss Pippa, and everyone. Wishing you a safe and happy trip. Why, thank you. Ashley Joe says, morning, 40 degrees here in Las Vegas. I look forward to Saturdays with Brittany. Why, thank you. Rich says, some people still refer to the Princess of Wales as the Duchess of Cambridge. It happens. No disrespect, though. Yeah, it's really not disrespect. It's just complicated. All right. Yvette says, hi from sunny Miami. Fulong says, hit the like button. Yes. Ashley Joe says, the beard is growing on me. It actually does look better in his recent event. It does look better. So we have Raquel. Hi from Iceland. Hello. Monarchy says, how tragic that Harry's wife created a name and a title for herself that the world has come to know her by. And Catherine struggles for all to call her by her rightful name and title. No, I wouldn't say, like, everybody still calls Meghan Markle. Like, every title of everything calls her Meghan Markle. Like, even the Marie Claire article, she was titled Meghan Markle. She wasn't called the Duchess of Sussex. Nobody really calls her that unless she demands it. Anne Marie says, I agree with Stephanie Barrett 100%. Not addressing Catherine by her correct name is definitely disrespectful. She's our beautiful princess. Well, it's just is what it is, guys. Sorry. It just is what it is. All right. Faith says, will you go to Sandringham on Christmas Day? No, I will be at home. I like being at home when I'm like for Christmas. I don't like being away. Like I don't mind, like I like want to be home on Christmas morning. Let's just be fair. I like might do that at some point, but Raquel says, I love this channel. Why, thank you. Evelyn says, how many are going with you, Brittany? I think we have like, I want to say 14. 14. Rich says, I love that William is wearing the whiskers a lot now. He does look very well. I think it's grown definitely on me. Princess Goose says, when I lived in Atlanta, it snowed once in 4 years. It was about a few inches of snow, but it would paralyze the city. People from the north, it made fun of us, but we don't have snow plows. We don't need them much. Exactly. Kelly says, wow, I was gifted a membership. Thank you so much. I love this channel. Why, thank you. Just Me says, here in Germany, we don't use huge jackets, but rather dress like onions, layers. You should try that technique out. It's also great for traveling and packing. Yeah, it's like one of those things. Well, it's kind of hard because it's like when you're in different places, like I just want something that works for everything. So yeah, I probably maybe look a bit like a tourist, but I want to be warm. I want to be warm. So, and hopefully it works with other events in the future because hopefully I will have a nice warm jacket. Creative Chaosify says the way Meghan communicates in general is strange. It's like she talks at people and not to people. 100%. Like there's a little, I might have moved it. Oh yeah. I actually have a post-it because I wrote, because I used it in a video. It says Reels talk with people and share what they've experienced. Meghan talks at people to tell people how brave she is. So it's just like Meghan just talks at people. That's what she does all the time. This great point. Private Pirate says, hello from Washington State. I'm happy to catch a live, usually asleep on this early Saturday. Raquel says, is there any news from Denmark? I love the Danish royal family. Yes. So Prince Christian is on his way back from Africa. He spent a couple months there, post his high school graduation. Then he'll be doing some military training in February. And then other than that, it's been mostly them doing some, general royal engagements. We do have Queen Mary launching some sort of podcast. I'm not sure if it's in English or Danish. I would imagine it's in Danish for the Mary Foundation, which sort of addresses bullying and loneliness for young people. So that is sort of the most updated news, I would say, about Denmark. Teresa B, I love your channel and always trust your sources. Thank you so much for the tip, Teresa. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm always so cautious about using the best sources possible. So like I put in the title that, questioning the separation thing, and I'll probably do a video on it. But, a lot of people, there's a lot of social media speculation out there, and most of it's not right. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. So I try to go with, even though people don't trust always the mainstream media, I feel like I'm pretty good at discerning what's good and bad from the mainstream media. So that's what I tried to bring you guys. All right. Rich says they probably did not lift a finger on that polo nonsense, but insisted on having their names and nonsense titles lifted. Lazy grifters. And I think too, as well, when it comes to like the series is only over a weekend and it's like 5 episodes, which seems like insanely long. And so it just seems like it's really overdone for what it is, but we'll see. Babette says professional separation is just a smokescreen, in my opinion, to hide the fact that they are apart. It's part of it, definitely, for sure. Like I've always said, once you have a professional quote unquote separation, it's not too long before you get a personal one too. Faith says Meghan Markle is still on beige. Why? She tried to say she couldn't wear colors in the RF, but she wore more white color while in the RF than when they left. It's so true. It's another lie. In my opinion, it's just like she can't, it's like amazing to me. She can't stop lying. It's like she can't stop. It's just crazy. All right. Debbie says, good morning. Only 20 minutes late. I was watching your fashion channel cold in Louisiana. Why, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it because that was fun to make. I was like, oh man, I really need to be more on top of these. It's been kind of hard. I've been meaning to get back on the Instagram thing too, but some days it's just like, it's just kind of, you just kind of get burned out a smidge. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I got to figure out the fashion stuff because I really want to make the fashion thing huge because I have to go to different places and I don't like how, maybe the website is run. I don't like different things. And so it's hard. I just got to figure it out. Demetra says, good morning, everyone from Chile, Toronto. All right. Rich says that I'll be that inheritance payout is already gone. Yeah, I think it went to the home in Portugal, to be honest. Cuggy says, page 6 says Meghan Markle is going to sparkle in 2025. Mage me. Hello from Minnesota. Yeah, so she definitely oh gosh. Oh goodness. Yeah, she's not going to sparkle in 2025. That's gonna be when ARO finally maybe launches, but it's like she's already like 6 months too late. She could have drug out some of the jam stuff and then sort of revealed the brand later, but she did the jam stuff and then had like that was most of April, then did one thing in June and then nothing. We've had nothing. Like it's embarrassingly bad. Like it's embarrassing. Like she should be so freaking embarrassed by how bad this is. It's insane. Few Long says, why is it Kate with a K and Catherine with a C? So I don't know that you would have to ask. I don't know. You would have to go back and ask maybe like the newspapers at the time. I think yeah, because some people still spell her name as Catherine with a K, sometimes in the comments I see and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know quite how it went that way, to be quite honest. And Matthew says, hi, Wave, R&M friends from snowing mid-Michigan, inch on the ground and coming down. I've been bundling up for 2 weeks. Today I bundled up the dog, 110 pounds. He loves the snow, but can only be out for a short period of time. Aw, so sweet. DS says, thank you so much for the tip. By the way, about the kids, I promise the RF has dotted their I's and crossed their T's when it comes to the line of succession. This ain't their first rodeo. Yes. So I think the royal family, they know the kids are theirs. They know a surrogate wasn't used. And I mean, I go back to the fact that guys, Meghan gained a decent amount of weight and really struggled to lose it after her pregnancies. That is no shame at all. That's just like fact. And like it's something I notice pretty quickly and stuff. So it's definitely something where, like, the royal family knows, like, they can't not know. Meghan just wanted to be weird about it. She just wanted to be weird about it. She wants control. She's a control freak. I mean, like, to work with her, I think would be to pull your hair out. Like there's certain things where certain things need to be done in a particular way and that's how it needs to be done, you know? But I think for me, when it comes to like control freaks is like she can't handle it when she's not controlling the situation. And the thing is there's certain things you can't control. And there's certain things where it behooves you, even if you want the control, to go with the norm. That way things work out actually better for you. She wanted control so badly that she rejected the norm and did her own thing to her own detriment. That's sort of what happened. And so the royal family is just like, you could just do it the normal way. But she's like, but I want privacy. No, she didn't want privacy. She wants control. Privacy is always code for control. I want control. I need control. That's her whole life is control. You see it in how she interacts with people. Directing them is a way to control them. She is very controlling, in my opinion. Very, very. And she can't stand it when she's not in control. And the whole thing with royalty is that you're not in control. That's why Catherine, I think, has given up on, like, you can probably call her anything and she'd probably still smile and be lovely to you. And the reason is that, like, you just have to accept that there's certain things you can't control and just sort of move on. And I love it's like a saying or whatever. It's like, um, God grant me the serenity to change the things I can, know the things I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. There's some things you just can't change. And I think in Meghan's instance, that could be amended to there's certain things you can control, certain things you can't control, and you have to know what is the difference. And Meghan Markle doesn't know the difference. And she doesn't know what's best for her in some ways, which is why she's been such a train wreck, is because she's just constantly trying to control everything. It's why her PR is still not working, why Harry's PR still isn't working, why their post-Mexit life has been a disaster, why all their productions have been a disaster, why ARO is a disaster. It's because she's trying to control all of it and she's just not competent. She just isn't. And it comes across because it's like somebody like Gwyneth Paltrow, who probably, knows somewhat how to run a business, but is not great, has allowed other people to mostly, you could say, guide. Like she's the like sort of probably the artistic head and creative head in many ways, but she lets other people to guide to the business stuff because she knows she doesn't know the business. Meghan Markle thinks she also knows everything and wants to control everything. Like it's just an absolute train wreck. And like, I mean, honestly, Harry could not have picked a worse partner. She's like, I mean, she's led the man to ruin, let's be honest. He went from one of the most popular royals to one of the least popular royals. That's all at the feet of Meghan Markle. Yes, he made the decisions, but it was influenced by her. You can't take her influence out of the equation because he would have still gone on his merry way and I think been perfectly happy until she started whispering in his ear, "Oh, Harry, you deserve better. You need better." Blah, blah, blah. And that's when things changed. All right. So Nelly gave a super sticker. Why, thank you so much, Nelly7. I hope you really enjoyed this today. All right. Monarch Kelly says, I wonder how easily and deeply William's words ring in Harry's ears about suggesting he was moving too fast in the relationship. I imagine Harry thinks about it quite a bit. All right. Faith, one of our members, says, hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Have a safe trip, Brittany. It is snowing in Flint, Michigan. Aw, that is awesome. So Kim C says, did you see the Doug Brunt podcast about Harry and Meghan, a podcast by Patrick Bett? David, you will like. I haven't seen it. I may have to check it out. But there was some other thing recent. I think it was actually Vintage Read, and I liked it because it was from, I think, Andrew Tate or something. But like he was talking about Meghan and he was being pretty disparaging. And she said something which I thought was true, which I always tried to pull as well. You'll notice I don't call Meghan and Harry by their nicknames really. And the reason is I don't think you need to descend to always name calling and sort of and mean-spirited nicknames in order to get your point across. And she made a similar point, which I thought was really good for that. So Be Kind Tiger said, would he not get an inheritance from Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth? Probably not. The reason is he might get one, but the reason is because when it comes to Queen Elizabeth, it's actually much smarter for her to actually leave her money to her son because that way it's not hit by inheritance taxes. So everything she gives to like her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, children, what have you, that's not Charles gets hit with inheritance taxes. So it's better for her to either give them something ahead of time or arrange it with Charles for them to get something so that they're not hit with the taxes in the same way. So Princess Goose says more people need to find RNN. Some channels only cover negative tabloid dramas of the Sussexes. Brittany covers the whole royal family. She's also says the few nice things about the Sussexes. Why, thank you. Yeah, I really do. I try to call a spade a spade. If I like something, I say it. If I don't like something, I say it. I try to be really clear about that. So I'm not always positive about Catherine and William, and I'm not always negative about Harry and Meghan because I feel like that's more real. That's a bit more real rather than just like, so I try to be nuanced. And I know that's really hard sometimes because people don't understand the nuance. And it's really hard because it's like, I love nuances. And then reading the comments and people don't get the nuances. And I'm like, no. So I'm like, I tried to explain it, but I guess I didn't explain it well. I don't know. But it's also social media and people, have an immediate reaction. But I do try to be generous where I can. Am I flawless? No. Am I flawless? No. But I do try to be generous. Like I put Meghan on the best dress list a couple weeks ago. Why? Because I mostly liked the outfit. It wasn't perfect, but did I like it? Yeah, I did. So I said so because it's better than I think just saying everything's negative. So she ends up on the worst dress list a lot though. She definitely does. She definitely the poor woman doesn't have a sense of style. It's really bad. It's really bad. And the sense of style, I don't think just even her view of her sense of style doesn't work for her body at all. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of style that works with my body. Some people just don't have that little, kind of trigger in their mind where they can figure out what actually works for them. All right. Faith says, there are 9 different ways to spell Catherine. Yeah, lots of different ways. And oh my gosh, most common creative spelling of a name is Brittany. I've seen so many variations of Brittany. Like I spell mine like Brittany France, Brittany. There's Ney, 1 T, 2 T's, Nee, Ani, Ni. Like the amount of variations for the spelling of Brittany is crazy. And just as kind of an encounter example, and granted, I'm not a person like Catherine, but I was like, if you spell my name wrong, I don't really care because I know there's a million different ways to spell Brittany. And so I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, it's fine. It's like nothing to get. I always find it interesting depending on how they spell my name because I was like, oh, I bet you that's the Brittany they know is she spells her name this way. That's always what I take. And I was like, oh, your friend, you're either no Britney Spears or your friend Brittany spells her name that way. Those are the two things I come to when I see like, at Starbucks or something. I'm like, that's how you spelled my name. I just find it funny. Anyways, Di says hello from snowy Missouri, trying to yet again to have our Snowfest Thanksgiving. Aw. Sorry if I knocked the mic there and it was loud. All right, we got Anna. Thank you so much for the tip. It said, I hope you and Miss Pippa had a blessed Thanksgiving with your loved ones. Why, thank you so much. We definitely did. She definitely got some turkey. So she was a happy beans. She was a very happy beans. So she was a good girl. We got to hang out. She got to hang out with her cousin. And she got to christen my parents. They were building sort of I don't know if you'd call it extension, but sort of finishing up their backyard. And she christened it several times with her little piddles. So that was good. Rich says, I still check out the fact that Meghan Markle insisted on moving into Windsor Castle. Her late majesty was having none of it. Yep. Yep. Meghan was totally deluded when her ego, I think, just got so overinflated. It was just kind of crazy. Gretchen says, the Patrick Bet David explanation of Meghan and Harry is one of the clearest and most interesting I've heard. He's a biz performance guy, not of royal news. Meghan Markle's brand of crazy covered far and wide. Yeah, I always like watching. So you guys know, if you follow the channel for a while, is that when it comes to Harry and Meghan, I used to watch other channels that covered more of just Harry and Meghan, but I don't actually watch other royal news channels anymore. And the reason is just I don't want it to totally color what I'm saying, subconsciously trying to compete with them because they're like, oh, they did this video, so I need to do this video. I just don't like that kind of thing. And I feel like that I try to be clear with, or direct with, what I cover on the channel and all those sorts of things. So it's one of those things where I enjoy watching people who don't cover royals often cover royals because they come at it from a bit of a different perspective. That's why sometimes I'll watch Baggage Claim or something if she does a Harry and Meghan video, because it's she's covers more pop culture, but she'll cover more the narcissism side. So she covers the Harry and Meghan stuff. So I feel like sometimes those type of people, they have a different perspective. That they can bring a different viewpoint to it. Somebody who's not so mired in it, if that makes sense. Monarchy says, interesting note, my two brothers' names are Marcus and Marius. Plus, so nice to hear how our family's pronunciation of Marius. Oh, good. And Magnus is actually Marius's half brother. I can't pronounce it well. Sir Magnus or something is how they have a Marius and a Magnus. So Rich says Pippa's adoring look is so freaking cute. She is really cute. Sarah says, thank you so much, Terry, for the membership gift. Creative Chaosify. So sad to hear Liz Patton passed away. She's a young girl with cancer who recently photographed with the Waleses. Yes, I forgot to mention that, but yeah, that was definitely a news that came out this week. It's so hard to know because it seemed like she was so active until in the end. It's hard to sort of gauge, but it sounded like it happened early in the morning. So, it seems to have happened quickly, unfortunately, and a little not totally unexpected, but also maybe the timing wasn't totally expected either. So it's very sad. What's interesting though, I was looking at this on Twitter and her mom shared that her body has actually been donated at least for a couple of years to the University of Glasgow, maybe some university actually in the UK to study her particular cancer. I don't know how I would feel about that just because of I just kind of want part of it, sort of over and done with. I don't know how, if they have, with the funeral and everything, I don't know quite how that works. So that's an interesting thing. JGH says last Di was Lady Di for years after her wedding and then called Princess Di, even though she was really Diana, Princess of Wales. Yeah. So they didn't use even Diana's name correctly. Court Watch Australia said some European countries' definition of SA is more strict and then can be OTT, e.g. Julian Assange removed, didn't use condom, can be called R word. So yeah, it's complicated. This is regarding the Marius case because they are looking into those particular issues. So we will see how that comes together. But it's definitely a very serious case, and I think what's looks worse for the Norwegian monarchy, and it's why they need to address things, is that it really does look like, I think the crown princely couple has been cleaning up after Marius for a really long time. I think they've been cleaning up after him, and that has allowed him to get away with stuff he probably shouldn't have gotten away with. So Melly says, yes, William is definitely rocking the beard. And Monarchy says, so nice to see Pippa. I was thinking of her as I joined the chat. She looks like she has a new cough. Yes, she got a haircut a couple weeks ago. So she is all nice and short and sweet. Missy says, why haven't the kids been looked into yet? So I'm not really interested in like looking into the kids all that much because they're kids. I don't really care that much. What my interest is that the royal family, I think, really does need to address the title issues. And I think I've said this a million times. Amend the letters of patent to say you must be raised and educated in the UK to have a prince and princess title. You should not have a prince and princess title and have literally no connection to the UK. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous to me. Like, because those kids are representing you by using the title saying I'm Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. They are representing you. So you need to address it. Again, it sort of goes back to the Marius situation. Yes, he is not a blood royal, meaning that he is not actually connected by blood to the main line of succession to the monarchy. His half siblings are, he is not. So yes, he is not, let's say, part of the Norwegian monarchy, but his connection to them does have an impact. So even though he's not really any part of the official equation, his connection has an impact. And I feel like the Brits just kind of, and this is just my personal opinion, just kind of bury their head in the sand a bit and go, well, it's going to get better at some point. It's just going to get better at some point. It's going to get, well, it might not get better. You can't just go along with life and just think, oh, it's just going to get better. It might not get better. So you have to make decisions, I think, sometimes serious decisions, because otherwise, I don't know. Because one day it might just blow up in your face. That's what's happened in Norway. They thought they could go on with it. They thought they could manage it. And then it's blown up and you can't keep it covered anymore. That might happen. Faith Atkinson says, Brittany, have you seen the new article from the Daily Mail about Harry and Meghan coming back while King Charles is on the throne? I haven't seen that. I'll have to look at it, see what it says. And yeah, it's just, they're not coming back as working royals. Nobody wants them, especially they don't want Meghan. I don't know. It's just, I hate all the, oh, they're coming back. No, they're not. Like, William doesn't want Harry back. Charles wants a relationship with his son. I don't think that should be denied from him. I don't think his grandchildren should be denied from him. But like, nobody wants Harry. Like, that's just life. Katie says Diana was Lady Di well after she became Princess of Wales. Let's all calm down. Yeah, it just takes time, guys. It just takes time. Creative Chaosify says, does Invictus have a new CEO? Who does the day-to-day tasks of running the organization? A variety of people. So the CEO is still there until actually after the 2025 games. It was actually very confusing, I thought, how they introduced some of that, because they really should have been specific about it earlier. But yeah, they were kind of vague. And it got a bit confusing. Monarchy says, yes, numbers do not lie. Great investigation. Yeah, it's just like one of those simple things. I wish I had looked it up earlier, but Nanette says, hello from Oklahoma. SCJ says, good morning from cold Michigan. Haven't been on a Saturday live in a while, but I'm up today. Sounds good. Monarchy says, I love it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yes, that is sort of Harry and Meghan's whole thing now. It's like they've played stupid games, they've won stupid prizes, and that's their fault. I'm Lamia says, will you cover Catherine's together at Christmas in London? Yes, I will be there in the cold and hoping to get a picture with my little kickstand and my camera gear and the video and everything. So I will try to get some good content for you guys. It's like hard because, oh man, and I will be there for the state visit. And it's so hard, guys, because it's like I'm debating right now. It's like I want video. I really need to focus more on video. Yeah, I love getting pictures, but it's hard because the camera is probably not going to move the way I wanted to. I might try maybe with the gimbal thing I have. The gimbal thing might actually track it well, but I'd have to see. So hard. So hard. because I want the video and I can like set up a camera, of course, to get most of the video. But when they're coming by, like I want the camera to move with them. But at the same time, too, I want to get pictures because there's only so many chances you get to get pictures. So I'm like, okay. Wendy says, good morning, Brittany and Pippa from Niagara on the Lake, Canada. Thank you. Babette says, I never thought about food restrictions, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Monarchy says, I liked your domino strategy too. Oh, did you like that? Like knock over the dominoes, arrow reveal. Yeah. So that was in my last video. Sometimes I come through, sometimes things come to me as I'm talking. So I don't actually have, if you're ever curious, I don't actually have a script. Sometimes I have like the ideas written down, like when it comes to the Meghan blunders, which I still need to do some more series on that. So I may film some of those today for the future. But when it comes to, yeah, like I like have some ideas written down, but most of the time, guys, I'm just spitballing. To be quite honest. CJ says, "Hey Lizzie, good morning. How cold is it for you? We've dipped below 22. We got Goth Mama Sylvia, sunny, chilly Wyoming. We got Ritz. Travel through Europe on train. It's a fun adventure. Love it. Yeah, and it's just a little, especially with more luggage, just a little less cumbersome." Sue Webb says, greetings all from North Yorkshire. Woof woof, Miss Pippa from Forest. Sorry, I've been away for a few weeks trying to recover from stomach cancer. So good to be back. Well, I hope you are feeling so much better, Sue Webb. So sorry to hear about the cancer, but hopefully you are feeling strong yet again. Yeah, Sandra says, good evening, Brittany and everyone in the chat from Chile, the Netherlands. Sleepy Fox says, I'm a little late, but one morning you should use that sun meme to make a video of your diamonds. That would really sparkle for you. Why, thank you. C&K Cribs says William calls Catherine Kate in the engagement interview. Yeah, I think they kind of tried to change it and then it just didn't work. So it's just, it is what it is. Judith says, good morning, Brittany. With Prince Harry's long separation from Meghan, it's adding to the rumors about the children. Yeah, I mean, I don't really like going into the rumors about the kids. It's just not my thing. But I think the kids are theirs and they're there. But I 100% always stood by this. 100% believe that most of the time they're with the nannies. To be quite honest, Meghan just doesn't strike me as a really maternal person. To be quite honest, she just doesn't strike me as somebody who's real maternal. She strikes me as somebody who likes the kids when they're acting a particular way, but as soon as they're fussy or they're not doing what she wants them to do, I'm sure she hands them off to the help. That's just my personal opinion. And I think part of the reason we haven't seen them in public, and I've shared this before, but if you think about Meghan Markle and her need for control, children are the antithesis of that. Yes, if you discipline and raise your children well, you will have an element of control, but children are children. They act up either way. And I don't think Meghan Markle is probably a good disciplinarian. She doesn't want to do the hard work of parenting. I mean, she doesn't want to do the hard work of anything. So part of the reason we don't see them with their children is that she, I think, is absolutely petrified of one of her kids having a tantrum and her not being able to deal with it. You know, because we saw Catherine dealing with Louis and she disciplined him and she talked to him and she was very clear, you know, I think about what she wanted and stuff like that. And it was probably not the best thing that she wanted, but she definitely has the parental control, you could say, in the home because you can tell Catherine and William are the ones who discipline their kids. And you see this and how they react to them. They are very well behaved. They're very, very well behaved because discipline is a part of their lives and their parents are the ones who do it. Because if the parent isn't the one who disciplines you, if you're acting up, the parent won't know what to do if they always rely on the nannies to do the hard work. That's what I think Meghan's situation is. She always relies on the nannies to do the hard work. And so she doesn't know how to discipline. She doesn't know how to control her kids. And so that's why she doesn't bring them out very much in public, is that she's petrified somebody will catch her with her kids when her kids are having a meltdown, a tantrum, an issue, and she won't be able to manage it publicly. That's what she's petrified of, I think, because that would raise a lot of questions about her parenting. That's why she probably didn't even want to stay in the UK for too long after having the kids, because she knew she couldn't be able to, she wouldn't have the control she desperately wants, because she only wants them, like they were perfect when I'm sure they were babies, but once they got past that point, she's like, they have a mind of their own a bit and she doesn't like that. So Watch Court Australia says, read that list on Netflix. It was interesting, the video you did, but maybe Heart of Invictus 2023 and Live to Lead 2022 were ranked higher in previous years. They were. But the thing is, it looks at something every 6 months. So Heart of Invictus launched in August of 2023. So by January to June 2024, what that list shows us is that in that time period, it could not get 100,000 views. So that meant nobody was looking for it, nobody was watching it, nobody cared. Even when you had, let's say, the Harry and Meghan going to Vancouver for to promote the Invictus Games, that could even boost the numbers to over 100,000. Live to Lead is the same thing. It was in actually both, I believe, the list for 2023. I'd have to look again, but I believe they were in both the lists. So they were there for the first half of 2023 and the last half of 2023. By 2024, it's non-existent. Nobody cares anymore. So, and it was really low on the list in the last half of 2023 too. So the drop off and the disappearance of Live to Lead, and it could have been that Netflix left lower numbers on there at the time because they've gained more products. So maybe they have to heighten the number of the threshold they release. But they're both still available on Netflix. So what that meant is that essentially is that they don't have longevity. Now there are things that don't have longevity. So I could look through and pull up some other, let's say, documentaries. And documentaries, I think, in some ways don't have as much longevity because they're sort of one and done. Once you figure out like who the murderer is or what happened in this particular situation, you're not necessarily going to go back and rewatch because you've already know. Now, there's some really good documentaries where I do go back and rewatch. I've really liked The Vow on HBO. I especially like the beginning, not as much sort of towards the end, but I thought the beginning was very good because it went over the NXIVM thing, the cult. And I thought that was really fascinating because for me, it's like, it's sort of the, what I find really critical about cults is that what people are searching for is sort of that desperate need to feel like wanted and engaged and feel like their life has a higher purpose. And so that is something that we all crave as human beings is having that higher purpose. You know, I personally think it comes through knowing Jesus and God and everything, but other people can find that through a cult and how that sort of twists this innate human desire into something that obviously most of us would not recognize. So I found that really fascinating how the control, the coercion, and all these sorts of things went into that, how they were so hyped on it and how they slowly uncovered sort of the nasty underbelly underneath. That's a long explanation for it. So I've watched that multiple times. I have watched the Cecil Hotel one multiple times because I find that one particularly engaging. And there's ones that you'll go back to, but documentaries aren't really that. So Harry and Meghan stuff just doesn't have longevity. Now, they're talking about the royal family does because everybody's interested in that drama because the royal family is the most famous family in the whole world. So everyone wants to know more about that drama. So people will go back and rewatch that. That's why they still got 1.8 million views on that. But everything else is dead. So that tells you a lot. Anyways, that's a long explanation. But Julie says, my first live, finally. Hello from Nova Scotia, Canada. Why, thank you. Carol, in the Marie Claire interview, they called her the Duchess. Yes, they did. But they called her in the title, the Princess, Meghan Markle, because that's how people know her. So 70 says, I heard royal commentators say Catherine's day was very full, so it makes sense it would be too tiring for her to go out in the evening too. She needs to take care and not overdo things while recovering. That is true as well. It's sort of a long day. So Gretchen says, I think William called Catherine Kate in the engagement interview. It's part of why it's stuck. Yeah, it's sort of hard to say, oh no, that's not what I call her when you called her that. So it's kind of one of those things. And Catherine is 3 syllables. Kate is 1. So it's just one of those things. Eve says hello from South Africa. Annie says, good morning, everyone. It's tough being a Sussex squad die because all of the cognitive dissonance of dealing with all the lies would drive anybody mad. Yeah, I think so. Harry and Meghan just, and it's like, it's hard to like say, well, things are going well. It's like, they're not going well. She can't get a stinking trademark through to save her life. It's like, it's not going well. Like, you can't deny that. All right. Mama A.T. says, good morning from Weatherford, Texas. We have Ritz. Her smug attitude, arrogance, and fakeness is highly offensive. I have to mute whenever she speaks. Cannot listen to her or him. It is hard to listen to him. So SEJ says, did Catherine put out a video regarding her statement on addiction, or was it just a statement? It was just a statement. So it was kind of interesting because they shared sort of, I think, a new picture of her, although it could have been taken from something else, and then the statement. Creative Chaosify says, what's going on with those Archipel tax documents? Weren't they supposed to be made public by now? I think so. But yeah, I don't know. I don't follow the Archibald stuff too closely because, but it's just like, golly. Deb says, I think it's really upsetting and rude that she's not going to this event and wearing her jewels, tiaras. It's pretty clear she does not like going on a lot of jewelry and only wearing it when she's forced. So I think Catherine, I mean, to be fair, I don't think Catherine is a huge fan of the big jewelry. She's worn some of it, but I don't think it's necessarily her style. You notice she'll wear something really minimal, but I don't think it's rude. Obviously she is recovering and she's really trying to be, I think, cautious. And she does have the Christmas concert later this week. Would I love for her to go? Yes, because I love tiaras and I love ladies wearing tiaras. Yep. So Rich says, wasn't her time of joy? What happened to that word salad? Like all word salad, it's got shredded into mulch. Licking Bollock says, how many different countries do your viewers come from? Like almost all of them. I don't think the only place because I don't think YouTube is available in China. I don't have anybody from China, but I have pretty much people from like every corner of the world. Like you would be surprised. It amazes me. It amazes me. Obviously, and also not North Korea. If you are from North Korea and you're listening to this show, number one, I would be very surprised. And number two, I wish you the best of luck. Wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, maybe unification can come with South Korea overtaking North Korea one day. So wishing you all the best. Inside Voice says, I have a secondhand embarrassment for those two from the Polo documentary. Eek, how do you have one brother helping the homeless and you have another putting out, well, that hard cringe. Yeah. Sweaty boys riding is what that one woman said. And I swear her son is one of those boys. Like, I'm like, it's just so cringe. It's so cringe. Judy says, good morning from Alberta. I think Brittany has given a good explanation of why Kate Middleton is used. Just stop whinging. Yeah, I think it's just needs to let it go. That's my thought. Sirloin of Beef says, Meghan Markle is going to sparkle in 2025. She's rebooting, recalibrating, restarting, whatever since 2020. She can barely get out of the starting block. Yeah. Yeah. Rich says, hit the ground running, modernize monarchy. Nothing, please. Yeah. And I agree. Like she has tried so hard and failed so hard. She has failed so stinking hard. It's like, it's embarrassing. Like it's truly embarrassing how badly she's failed at like everything. Everything. She's failed so bad. It's just like it's just unbelievable to me how somebody can be that much of a failure all the time. Like I don't understand. I don't understand how you can have like all the like she's still trying to figure this all out. And I get it. It's hard, but like seriously. Chatty Kathy says, Brittany, would you agree that Charles cannot have contact with Harry while he is in court all the time and Charles is head of state? It seems too risky for him to have any contact with Harry. I don't think so. Again, personal and professional or whatever you can separate. But yeah, Harry's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So that doesn't help either. All right. Allegedly, from Creative Chaosify, allegedly Harry called his old friends to have them take part in a polo documentary, but they all turned him down. Every single one, coloring me surprised. Yeah, if that happened, I would not be surprised. Nobody wants to be part of it. Nobody wants to be part of it. It's one of those things where it's probably best left. I had somebody who actually shared with me that like polo is one of those things where it's like sort of like you have to lift the lid and everybody has to go into their like tawdry details. It's not like really a good thing. Marianne says Meghan played the celebrity game with royalty. Then she preached to everyone a huge failure. Yep. Cookie says it was said that Harry contacted all his old friends in polo. They turned him down. They want nothing to do with Harry. Not surprised. SCJ says she's such a psycho that when they showed a doll, they revealed Archie, yet she had finally looked like she was proud to pop out. However, we don't know if she really had Lily and if IVF. So I actually would argue that when it comes to like, I think, Archie could have been sleeping. Like, I don't really think there's any need to go into any like speculation about the baby reveal in Windsor. But what I think when it comes to them using IVF, I would not be surprised if that's a possibility, and I don't totally blame them. She was older, and so that was what they needed to do. I don't think that's a particular issue, because I think probably other royals have done the same. NML says, I think the algorithm has already changed. I Googled Princess of Wales, and now it's only Princess Catherine come up, not Diana. But it's sort of still what people Google. And also I mentioned Getty Images when I Google, put in Princess of Wales, it's always Diana that comes up first. It's always Diana. Monarchy says, hello, everyone. Brittany, are there any special places you're looking forward to having a nice cup of hot chocolate during your travels? Yes. Canope, I think is what it's called. There's one by Harrods over that direction. And it is a place where they have like both cold and hot chocolate, and they like melt chocolate. Put it in there. So I'm really looking forward to hot chocolate from there. I'm looking forward to discovering other hot chocolate places, because there's an amazing place when I was in Krakow in Poland, and they had some amazing hot chocolate. So I'm just like on the hunt. If I see like a special thing where they're making hot chocolate, I'm like, is that like not only hot chocolate, but like melted chocolate, basically. Oh, they even had it at this place in Prague, or sorry, Krakow. They even had like you could put like salted caramel in it. Like, it was amazing. Gretchen says the difference between Meghan and Catherine is that Princess Catherine doesn't care what you call her because she will be queen, and Meghan doesn't realize that she's mostly a sideshow act who will never be anything. So true. So true. Stephanie says, Brittany, the hormones mothers who are using surrogates take so they can breastfeed once the baby's born gain weight and puffiness. The weight gain is not evidence that Meghan was pregnant. I'm sorry. I just think that's a little. You're trying so hard to make it work that it comes across as unbelievable. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that. I think that's a little bit. I don't even think Meghan Markle would want to breastfeed all that much, to be honest. She would maybe do it for a couple weeks. It would be too hard and she would give up. So I would lean more on her not wanting to do it. So I just think you're just trying so hard to make it fit. It's just so much easier just to go with they had the kids and to let it go. Because I don't think because I think the whole thing with the surrogacy is that people who really want to believe it really believe that you can just take Archie and Lily out of the line of succession and like disavow them or whatever, and it would totally change Harry and Meghan and everything. And I just don't think that's what's going to happen. Just don't think that is what's going to happen. So I think it's best to go in a different direction. Creative Chaosify says, I thought monarchs were exempt from inheritance taxes. Yes, so that's why it's best for Queen Elizabeth to leave her stuff to Charles, because that way none of it gets hit with inheritance taxes. So Kimberly B says, hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. No worries. Rich says, that variety event where she was hamming it up and showing off, I cannot unsee any of it. Pure comedy. Yes. Candy Guinness says, hi, Brittany. Happy Thanksgiving, and hi to the member in Flint, Michigan. I'm also in snowy cold Flint, Michigan. Aw. Old School Millennial says, good morning, RNN chat. Brittany, do you have a number one favorite Thanksgiving dish or family tradition? 63 degrees in Florida. So we have something called broccoli salad that we like. So I enjoy having that, but I also make macaroni and cheese. That is my contribution. I personally prefer the mix from Cracker Barrel. It's really good. That's what I make. That's like the only things I care about. So Louisa says European newspapers report that Martha and Direct owe restaurants and hotels about $95,000 from their marriage celebrations. Apparently debt collectors are already going after them. I've heard that. I covered that a little bit in the Crown Report. I think they've settled since that report came out. They've settled some of it now, but yeah, it's not a good look. I'm Lamia says, will you cover Catherine's together at Christmas and do a live stream from front of the Abbey? Probably not a live stream, because I don't know how much that would cost, because obviously, I'm international. I have international coverage, but I don't want to push it too far because it does cost me an extra $10 a day to be there and use my internet on my phone. So probably won't do that. But yes, I'll be in front of the Abbey, and I won't do live stream, but I may do a live stream after I get back to the hotel. So you guys may just have to, my plan is to do a video today and share that, hey, I will be traveling. We'll be doing more live streams just because that's a bit easier than doing a filmed and edited video. So yeah. Renee says Harry apparently was ripe to leave, but maybe if he had chosen a good partner, she would have made his burden of duty better with her support. But who knows what if that doesn't exist? Yeah, I'm not always a fan of the idea that I don't think he was totally choosing to leave. I think that's a bit of revisionist history on his part, to be quite honest. I don't know, though. So Rich says, let's not forget Katie. Yes, we did have Weighty Katie as well. Chatty Cathy says, stay real, dear Brittany, stay real. That's why I always listen to you. You've got your head on straight and you're so very well informed. Why, thank you. Suzanne Young says, I have to correct every single legal document with my name. Who would have thought you would mess up, Suzanne? Yeah, it's just one of those things. Lizzie says, my last name is always mispronounced. My dad raised my siblings and I should just go with it. They may be wrong, but are acknowledging you. Yeah, it's kind of funny. My last name is actually very simple. And it's like, I'm always shocked at the way people like sometimes like is like, um, not crying collars, but like, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like telemarketers or something they'll call and they'll say like the most ridiculous things. I'm like, my last name is so simple. But yeah, Brittany spelled a million different ways. I just roll with it. Unless it's like important, like a legal document. And I'm like, you might want to get that right. At Starbucks, I gave my name as Mimi on the cup and it said Mimi. I nearly fell over. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that. Uh, Court Watch Australia said to Pulong, your question about any abbreviation, Catherine is almost always Kate with a K, but rare. Sometimes choose C with IG actress Kate Blanchett was a birth name Catherine. Yeah, it might have been something where she could have changed it at some point with Kate being with a C, but I don't know. Mon R. Kelly Key says you are fantastic at reading everyone's chats. Bravo. Why, thank you. KJ says, hi, Brittany, Miss Pippa, an RNN fan from Wild South Wales. Looking forward to your next mechanical mistakes video. Why, thank you. Yes, I am excited about that because it's going to be a whole video on Mexit. May try to do it today. I have another thing because I want to film a video for the fashion channel called Kate's Favorite Things, and I know where I'm going to film it, and I'm very excited. So, guys, I had an idea for that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so good. I have to do it. So, I will be doing that a bit. I have to do that today. I have to do like a bunch of filming, hopefully editing and getting at least some things up today because otherwise I won't get it up. But I want to at least get one more, like at least one or two other things, maybe just filmed so I can edit them. It's just really hard. So Renee says, in my case, my name is spelled with 2 E's. If they miss one, Renee is a man's name. So for me, it is a pet peeve. It doesn't help when you want to embarrass telemarketers that call me sir and get a woman. That's good. Old school millennial says, Brittany, one thing I like about Prince William and Princess Catherine is that they seem to display a very healthy marriage and genuine affection, friendship with one another and with their kids, whereas Harry and Meghan seem more false and awkward. 150%. So the way I see Catherine and William's marriage, and it's kind of interesting because I was doing a thing one time where I was looking through old stories about Catherine and William. So it was kind of interesting to see when they were dating, how people portrayed them, because I think with the passage of time, they have gotten into the place where they've been a bit more sanctified than they were when they were younger. However, I will say when it comes to Catherine and William, what I think is really great about their relationship is that it very much comes across as 2 people who are friends and yet also married. And they have a very healthy relationship seemingly with their kids, with themselves. And I think it comes across really well. And Harry and Meghan's relationship always to me, like, it's interesting. People will criticize because I guess I did a TikTok and somehow it made the rounds on TikTok at some point with people criticizing it, talking about, Meghan dragging Harry into what was it? The humanitarian award they got from the RF Kennedy Foundation or whatever. And she's like dragging him, holding his hand. And it's like talking about how they constantly have to hold hands. And it's like, people criticize that, but at the same time, I'm like, you guys don't get it. Like they hold hands constantly. It's weird. Normal adult couples don't hold on to each other as if they're 12 years old. What Harry and Meghan remind me of always is a middle school couple who can't stop holding hands. Heaven forbid they stop holding hands. It's weird. It's so weird. And so Harry and Meghan come across as fake and contrived and awkward because, like, I think to myself, okay, you're doing all this. It feels like a performance. Are you really holding hands all the time when you're not in front of people and being photographed a bunch? Or is it just something you do for the cameras because it feels like a performance? And we've seen this when people catch them unawares, like let's say recently when they were coming back from Nigeria, Meghan stormed off the exit of the plane area or whatever, and Harry's walking behind. They're not holding hands, even though they had been holding hands probably the entire time in Africa. All of a sudden, they're not holding hands. Why? Because holding hands is part of the performance. Whereas Catherine and William don't hold hands when they're on duty because they're working, and then are more likely to hold hands when they aren't on duty, which is normal. When you're working, you shouldn't be slobbering all over each other like you're 12 years old. When you're not working, you can do that. Like, it's just obvious. Peeper Jean says some of the spellings get wild. I know Tiffany spelled Funny. Okay, I feel like if somebody does that, and no offense to that person, I feel like the parents are just being cruel at that point. They're just being a bit cruel. And yeah, because it's like I would, if I was me personally, I would honestly legally change my name to just Stephanie, because I'm like, you just made it more challenging. Just like that's I mean that's entertaining, but also I'm like, why? Like as the child, I'd be like, why did you do this to me? Like I can't, my name is a common name, and I can't get, when you're a kid, one of the things that, you have those little personalized things that you can get at souvenir shops and stuff like that, like license plates, they'll have your name on it. It's like on a little keychain. And I'd always be bummed if they spelled it Brittany. But Tiffany is usually only spelled one way. And so if you have something that's spelled differently, it's like you could never get one of those as a kid. It would drive me nuts. Okay. That's my little thing. Gretchen says, I think we won't know Harry and Meghan have separated in their marriage until it comes out. Separation and or divorce is like a slow moving train wreck that leads up long, but crash happens fast. I would agree with that. And honestly, as well, we have two instances of Hollywood recently, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith and Meryl Streep, who had separated from their spouses and people didn't know it for years. Will and Jada was like 7 years or something until she finally revealed it, I think to like torture him. And when it comes to Meryl Streep, she and her husband separated, and she didn't let people know until real recently. So it's like one of those things that can be like all of a sudden. Mon R. Kelly says, Key says, it was nice to see you with Dan Wooten too. Why, thank you. SCJ says, I don't watch that podcast, but I may watch their take on Harry and Meghan. Alice Ranson says, sorry, I'm late. Mary Ruth Adil says, 1,000 watching and less than 300 likes. Aw. Inside Voice says, I would love to see you and Taz do a show together. That would be my all-time royal commentary matchup. Maybe one day we will be able to do that. SCJ says, oh no, that's so sad. Wow. Alana, my name, Alana gets spelled so many ways too. Alana, Elena. I could go on. It's pronounced to rhyme with banana. Alana. Okay. Alana says, so sad Liz Hatton lost her cancer battle. She was beautiful inside and out. Yes, she was. Court Watch Australia says, Megan Suits co-star Patrick married the daughter of Don Belisario, the guy who created NCIS, JAG, and Magnum PI. Megan should have stayed friends with him and maybe could have gotten more TV roles. Yeah, but she kind of tried to do this thing where she was like, I'm above acting now. So she's like, I'm going to be a producer. It turns out she really sucks at it. SCG says, oh no, is a Norwegian guy who's in trouble for sexual assault? Yes, he is. Yeah, he is. So there are looking into 3 cases connected to that. So quite serious. Rich says, Meghan's arrogance and assumed knowledge about the letters of patent was truly offensive during the Oprah Winfrey interview. She's so ignorant. Yeah, it was very annoying that she deliberately in the first instance basically lied. Because she knew what letters of patent said, that he doesn't get a title. And then she let it linger that it was because of his skin tone. I mean, just, it's just terrible. Brittany, Kimberly says, do you put any credence to Harry and Meghan having their own private jet? Absolutely not. They don't have enough money for that. The amount of money you need. So only the upper echelon of Hollywood has a private jet. So we're talking somebody who's pulling in Taylor Swift level money, Kardashian level money. Those are the type of people who have their own private jets. Other ones rent them. So they arrange, they contract them. That's how they do it. I was going to say George Clooney has a private jet, but I don't actually believe he does. So it's like if you have your own private jet, you're making Taylor Swift Kardashian level money. So you're closing in on $1 billion. Those are the people with their own private jets. Now, granted, somebody who's, let's say, on the lower end of the spectrum can have a very, very small plane, like a really small plane. But when you're talking about a decent sized plane that can go pretty far, even over international waters, you're talking Kardashian, Taylor Swift, Harrison Ford has, I think, a plane like that because he flies a bunch. John Travolta could fly a plane that large and stuff. You're talking that level of Hollywood money. So you're talking close to net worths of $1 billion of people who can actually keep and maintain a flight, because those planes are expensive. They are expensive to maintain. You have to pay pilots, like a huge, massive expense. Harry and Meghan do not have that money. Priyanka says, Brittany, what's your take on Meghan asking to be included in peace talks with the royals? They don't want her there. Nobody wants her there because she's like the biggest issue. Like, yes, Harry played his role, but she's the biggest issue. So PS says, Truth Analysis and T on YouTube has done an amazing job researching Meghan and Princess Catherine's heritage lineage. Harry and Meghan are related by the fourth great-grandfathers. Fascinating. Very interesting. Faces, how did they have pretend children and use models for photo? How did they imagine would work in the future? I don't get how they thought they could pull it off as these kids grow up, which generally means that they didn't use dolls. I think people just overlook things. Judith says, parents everywhere look at Norway and seeing what happens when you indulge your children. Martha Louise and her pro-choice spouse and Hakan's stepson. Yeah, unfortunately, that looks like it. I think there's a lot of overindulgence and not a lot of, you could say, discipline or guidance. And this started when they were younger and has resulted in, I would say, some pretty not great scenarios, to be quite honest. Monarch Kelly says, to play off your monarchy explanation, Harry's children stand in the shadow of King Charles's sunlight. Yes. Marissa says, good morning from Tennessee. Linda says, it was a foregone conclusion that Prince Harry and Meghan's marriage would end in divorce. I gave it 3 years. I gave it 5. They made it past 5, although the first real signs of sort of, you could say, separate lives emerged a year ago, actually, which was 5 years for their marriage. John says, it is so disrespectful to call her Kate regardless of the algorithm. It is what it is. You know, everybody else does it pretty much in the media. And it's just one of those things where most people know her by Kate Middleton. I'm talking about the vast majority of people in the public. So yeah, you on here might know her as Catherine and might insist on that, but most normal people just don't know her that way. Anytime I am asked about Catherine is always what's going on with Kate Middleton. Every single time, that's always how they refer to her. Because people who don't watch royals really closely, but just know of her, that's how they know her. Tanya says, are you able to get shots from videos? You can. Sometimes actually they're so good, I can't use them in thumbnails because the picture quality is so good, I don't get it. So, because I had a video I got of them in Boston, and then when I tried to upload it with a still from the video, it was like too good. So yeah, it's like, you can definitely, but I would prefer to actually get an actual picture, but it's hard because it's like, I don't know what to do. All right. Cheryl Brooks says the RF is between a rock and a hard place. Change the letters of patent and they will be accused of racism or worse. Harry and Meghan might come back to the UK. I mean, would they be that bad if they came back to the UK? Like they wouldn't be working royals, and Meghan wouldn't want to go back to the UK. I think actually it's not racism. I don't think they could even play it that way. They just have to say, if you have a title, you must be here to and actually be infused with UK culture to actually utilize a UK title. I think that's perfectly appropriate. Now, if it was a defunct monarchy, I think you could more get away with not using a title, but it's like they're just saying, hey, you need to be raised here. You need to be educated here. You need to reflect UK culture, not California weird Hollywood culture. You need to reflect UK culture to have a UK title. Sweden has the same regulations. It has nothing to do with race. I don't even think they could play it that way. So, Nick Pearson says, could the Brits get the Stuart tiara back and do an exchange with the Dutch? No, and I'm perfectly happy with it being in the Netherlands because Maxima loves the big bling. And she's more creative, quite frankly. So I prefer it with Maxima, to be quite honest. All right, Princess Goose says no wire hangers. I do suspect either Archie or Lily will both write a tell-all, and that is referring to, if you guys don't know the wire hangers, that's referring to, of course, Joan Crawford and Mama Dearest, I think it is, or Mommy Dearest. Yeah. So I like Joan Crawford though, and Mildred Pierce. But apparently she was a crazy mom. DS says Meghan's bloopers. That'd be funny to do, Brittany. Yeah, so I did Meghan's blunders is what I called it. And I missed some. So I'll have to say, I'll have to put it in as like people who watch the video. What did I miss? Because I know I missed things. But next it has to be its whole own video. Alice Ranson said, so I heard Meghan say Archie doesn't believe in Santa anymore. That's so sad. I just feel so sorry for the kids. So that's actually not what it says. It's actually, I think, poorly written by the author, because basically the author is saying that her young son doesn't believe in Santa. And her and Meghan talked about how the magic of Christmas with children is a little bit fleeting. So I can understand that. But once I actually read it, I actually saw that. So it's just a misreading. Monarchy says, I respect your choice to stay away from the subject of the children other than their titles. Yeah, that's sort of where I land on it. Rich says, Catherine dealing with Louis was cute and real. It was very real and endearing. That's the thing too. Meghan not being with her kids makes her look weird. It does. To the public, it's like, you have 2 kids, yet I never see you ever with them. It looks weird. It makes you look weird. Whereas Catherine, you see her with her kids and you see her interacting with her kids, even in good times and bad times. And what that shows us is her being a mom. And so any mom in the entire world can relate to Catherine in that moment where Louis having a bit of a tantrum. Every mom can relate to that. Every mom. There is not a mom alive who cannot relate to that moment. And so that makes her incredibly relatable. And he wasn't having, let's say, a super huge, like throwing things tantrum meltdown. So it was a relatively contained meltdown overall. And I was at that parade, guys. It went on for like 2.5 hours. It was way too long, way too long. It was, golly, it was long. So I hated that. I was like, oh my gosh, can this please just end? So I understand why he got a little rambunctious after a while, because it was really, really long. But Catherine did the exact right thing. And every mom on earth was like, I'm with you, Catherine. I'm with you. Every mom on earth. DS, who's been a member for 8 months, has said, y'all are beating a dead horse with the Kate thing. Yeah, a little bit. We've discussed it. I need to stop clicking. Sometimes I'm like, I see a little bit of the comment. I just stopped clicking on them after a while because it's like, we've been over this. It's kind of there and done. But sometimes it's good to revisit in case people are new to the conversation. So yeah. Anyways, so Arams said, Meghan will wait to release the children until the price is right. The price is right, and she believes that they will do exactly what she wants them to do. All right. And Creative Chaosify says, I remember when Charlotte and Louis had little tantrums when they were younger, and Catherine handled it well. It made them more relatable to other parents. It did. Yeah, because Charlotte had a bit of a meltdown on the tarmac in Germany, I believe it was. And Catherine, kind of talked to her firmly, was able to get her without, let's say, going too far, getting her a bit more distracted and focused. And that's exactly what a parent does. Rich says, Meghan Markle never misses an opportunity posing for the camera. She cares about nobody but herself. That is also the thing. Meghan Markle is very self-indulged and very self-obsessed. And so she doesn't want the kids to take attention away from her. Mon says it would be even more telling to see Harry and his wife parenting. Can you imagine? That might be bad. Casey says, I'm waiting on Meghan to release a parenting book. Oh, that would be funny. That'd be funny. Sylvia says, I'm so sad the kids do not get to be with their cousins, aunts, uncles during the holidays. Yes, I agree with that 100%. That's very sad. Asher's random videos and things says, hi, finally made it to your live stream. Why, thank you. Rich says, I will never forget when Harry lied about the Queen rolling around on the floor with Lilibet during the time of the Jubilee. Lie. Yeah, I mean, I think they did meet with Her Majesty, but yeah. Alana says, if the kids are mostly raised by nannies, that would be the best thing for them. Meghan is too self-obsessed to be a good mom. Well, not really, because, kids really want the attention from their parent. A nanny is nice, but it's not the same. They'll still have issues because of that. And again, that's just my personal opinion. Judith says, Meghan Markle also doesn't want her kids taking attention away from her. She knows the camera would be on them, not her. She is that shallow. Yes, she is. So it's sort of interesting. And I think I missed the period to do the video, but I found it really fascinating that allegedly People magazine or the photographer himself cut Archie out of the pictures of Meghan going to Godmother's bookstore before it opened, literally cut him out of the frame and sold the pictures that way. And I'm like, they don't do that to any other celebrity kid. They'll blur the faces, but they don't cut them out, which number one means that Meghan was there with and coordinated with the photographer. Cause I would bet you 100% that she took the pictures, cut Archie out, and then sold them. That is what I believe. She had that totally arranged, because I don't think any other celebrity would do that. Not to mention the fact it wasn't even mentioned in the article that Archie was there, which I thought was really odd. It's like, why would the photographer not report that, hey, Archie was there? What does it matter if Archie was there? That's not compromising anything. It's very strange. It's a very, very strange, because that's not just privacy. That's secrecy, conspiracy level stuff. Privacy is also that you don't talk about your kids. She talks about her kids quite a bit. So if you really cared about their privacy, It's just about people not seeing them, but you talk about them all the time. If you really want their privacy, don't say anything about them at all. Just saying. Lizzie says Prince William and Princess Catherine dealing with the kids. You can see they are active parents. I still remember when Prince William moved Louis to sit with King Charles. Such a normal family moment. Yes. Rich says nothing about Meghan screams, says mother to me. Neither of them say a word about the children, ever not buying any of it. Yeah. Sailor says, good morning, Brittany. If Princess Charlotte does become a nurse, she can do both jobs. That would be cool. A nurse royal. That would be awesome. SEJ says, when they do bring up the kids, it's the weirdest crap anyone has ever heard. Yeah. It's never really normal things. Like Meghan talking about Thanksgiving in the Marie Claire article was weird. She's like, she wanted them to remember the recipes. Like what kid gives a crap about the recipes? They just want the food. They don't care about the recipes. And then she said something about bringing out a guitar and like randomly playing games. Like you get the sense she has no clue what, like they don't really have a normal Thanksgiving. Like it's really weird. They sound very weird. Sandra says, I mentioned getting hair and makeup done and getting dressed up takes hours. Might mean that Catherine already has tired at the start of the first engagement of the day. True. Alana says, I always loved seeing Charlotte guiding her brothers to behave properly. It's very cute. It's very cute. She's like mocking them. Like, I'm the sister. Sandra says, imagine, not mention, stupid how to. Yeah. SEJ says that Wales' children are adorable. They are. Rich says, respect is earned. Both of them demand and feel entitled to respect. That is not how it works. Nope. Yep. Lenderin says calling her Kate also makes her more accessible to us. I would imagine so. I think they would probably, people call sometimes in the titles of articles online, they would for Queen Elizabeth, they would say Liz. It's just one of those things. Sandra says, imagine, not mention. Yeah. Sandy says, please invest in a sneeze button every time you take a drink. Well, I tried to when I sniffle, I definitely try to mute. Tune the News says, good morning, y'all. How's your morning? Asher says, love from Hong Kong. We have Heather, hello from New Zealand. Mon R. Kelly says, cancer survivors must always take care of their immune system, not rudeness, still doing self-care. Yes. B-Wing says, sorry, I also think people insist on calling Catherine Kate Middleton are disrespectful. Catherine's been married over 11 years. Why use her single last name when addressing her? It actually technically still is her legal name because she can't adopt the name Mountbatten Windsor. So she is legally still Catherine Elizabeth Middleton, but she is allowed to use the title of her husband, in case you didn't know. Babette says her rebrand is like my diet, coming soon, very soon. Oh, I feel that because I keep telling myself Brittany, you need to get back and focused on a diet, but I've been slow doing that. Aram Scout says the King's Guards is a channel that covers various events out of palaces, maybe a collaboration. He takes the video, you can post and share company. Yeah, that might work. That might work. Alice Ranson says that Polo documentary is just ridiculous. Ironically, Polo is also known as the Sport of Kings, and Netflix got the one royal who has no kingly connections. Yeah, and it just seems like a bunch of rich people complaining about their rich lives. Just generally doesn't go over very well. I feel like a lot of people are struggling right now, so I don't think that would play well. Carrie says hello from Pittsburgh. We have Cuggy says Megs is failing because she's using that acting degree all wrong. If she got an acting degree, it's still kind of debated what she has. Bebop says, I'm amazed that there's enough footage to make 6 episodes of the Polo series. The Sweaty Boys comment was so cringeworthy. Yeah, well, apparently it's really boring. Like even the Netflix execs thought it was pretty boring. And I'd give credence to that report now is that we know for sure it's 5 episodes because in the Netflix description on YouTube, it said 5 episodes. And the issue that we heard reported out of Netflix is that it was 5 episodes. It was really long and it was really boring. So Lizzie says, state banquet will be the most exhausting part of the visit. Very tiring having to engage with so many people over a full evening. As disappointing as it is, I don't blame Catherine for sitting it out. And also, a tiara can also give you a headache. So it might be that she just doesn't even feel comfortable wearing one. Now she could wear a really light one or can be more creative. Oh, bring back creativity to tiaras in the UK. That would be awesome. Sorry, a bit of a yawn. I need to get to bed earlier tonight. Oh my gosh, guys, I've been so busy. Anne says, I just realized you remind me of Catherine Levitt. 2 cuties. Why, thank you. Pinkie Pie says, Rachel's not tried so hard. She barely works, spends seconds on an idea. And when it does not succeed, goes on to the next brain fart that comes to her mind. Trying hard is persistence, work, ambition. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. 100%. Like she just goes from thing to thing. Like no wonder nothing's working because you just constantly jump from thing to thing. You have to try really hard. You have to try really hard sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work right away. Like if I would say this channel first started off really strong, but if I was like a week in and I fussed and go, oh, I'm not 100 or 1,000 subscribers yet, so I'm just gonna give up. It's like no, you have to work really, really hard, and then you have to work really, really hard to get to 100K and all these sorts of things. It's just like crazy. As EJ says, someone in a live chat the other day commended her for all the backlash. My reply was, her narcissism, evil words, and actions are wise, so that's not to be commended. No, I would agree. Mon says, one wonders if Harry's wife is used to failure since acting success also came with much failure. Very true. Very true. Sandra says, actually, Brittany reminds me of a young men grind. I got that comment so much when I started the channel. It's kind of crazy. It's stuck. It's stuck. I'm Lamia says, announcement, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie position as cultural ambassadors for the UK and the Middle East. I would be okay with that. I think they should use them more. I just don't understand why they don't use the Yorks more. Landrin says, I cannot picture Harry as a father figure. Does he ever mention his children? Yeah, from time to time, but weirdly. Allison Yeager became a new member. Why, thank you so much, Allison. I hope you really do enjoy it because we'll have a lot of, I got a special camera thing that is sort of a vlogging camera. I'm very excited about it. I'm really, really excited about it because like one of the things is I have my work phone now, which is great, but I don't want to use it as a vlogging camera because like you'll see video. I actually saw a video the other day. A woman, she was like kind of trying to get crunched into like the subway in the UK, and she kind of had her phone out like this, and she wasn't paying attention to it. And as the doors were closing, a guy just grabbed it out of her hand and walked away. And I was like, oh, that can happen. Yeah. So I actually have, guys, which I'll probably have to put on today because I'm leaving tomorrow. Actually have a little thing with a lanyard. So I'm gonna be a dork and have my phone on a lanyard. Yeah. So yeah. SCJ says IVF equals not in the line of succession, though. I'm now convinced it was adult. I don't think so. IVF would be perfectly fine. Surrogacy would be the difference, but IVF I don't think would be an issue at all. Lizzie says, why don't you put out 2 videos, one with Kate Middleton, the other one with Catherine, Princess of Wales, and show the difference in views? Maybe people will stop asking then. I could, but I try not to do that too much. Like you can do that, but I try not to really do that. Wendy says, whatever the situation, I feel sorry for the 2 kids. They have a set of crappy parents. Yeah, I would agree with that. Stephanie says, I'm just saying that it happens to mothers taking the hormones being objective. Didn't necessarily say I believed it. Yeah, I've heard that before. I just think it's a little much. Lizzie B gifted 1 Royal News Network membership. So I thank you so much, Lizzie. That is so sweet of you. SEJ says broccoli salad sounds amazing. What else is in it? Do you roast the broccoli a little? So it's called you can look it up on All Recipes, I think is the website. It's called the Bodacious Broccoli Salad. So it's actually just raw broccoli, cheddar, onions, and bacon. And you mix that all together and kind of get it all so it's sort of even Stevens. And then you make a dressing. We exchange I think they have red wine vinegar in the original dressing. We exchange it as a family for apple cider vinegar. And it's just kind of, yeah, it's just good. It's just good. It's simple. It's pretty easy. It's good. And it's the dressing's made out of some mayonnaise and stuff. So yeah. Linda says, I don't think we should say anything about the kids until we know the truth. Could be, but we'll see. Anna says, so cute. A young man of Ryan. Yes. Inside Voice says, I agree. The kids exist. I also agree with an earlier video of yours mentioning the huge safety risk with these kids kids face due to lack of exposure. It's creating a market for those kiddos. Scary stuff. It is. But I think too, with them being in Montecito and basically the paparazzi culture having changed so much, it's a different beast now. Judy says, when Harry and Meghan introduced Archie at Windsor, Meghan's face was puffy and her abdomen was swollen as well. If she can't get a trade name right, I don't think she could organize a fake birth. That's pretty good. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Rich says, when I pronounce my last name for someone, they don't listen. They keep saying it wrong. Oof. Yeah. Nellie says, Brittany, you are rocking your RNN gear. Yes, I actually have 3 of these, but I could only find 1. So I need to look and see if I can find my other one too. Because I paid for these and they were expensive because I got them personalized. But I did lose another one of my pieces of my gears, which is still really sad to me. So, Bebop says, I love living in San Francisco, but miss going to London to see the Christmas lights. Have my photo taken with Santa Claus and afternoon tea at Harrods. Oh, that sounds great. I'm hoping really this time I have sort of one, you could say, free day. I'm really hoping to make it to Bicester Village, which is you have to actually have to take a train out there, which I just think would be fun. But it's like a discount designer outlet, and I've wanted to go there forever because they have a Holland Cooper store, and I really want to go this time. And so I'm really hoping Thursday is the day. So Alice Ranson says, my last name has an apostrophe in it. Eventually I just gave up correcting it. All computers hate apostrophes apparently, so I just don't bother now. But it's very annoying. It is. It is. I can imagine. So Godzilla Manstrap says, good morning. Happy Saturday. Stephanie says, I was just stating objective science facts about taking hormones to enable breastfeeding to illustrate why you can't use weight gain as evidence, not necessarily saying I believe the circuit theory. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but when people say that, I'm like, I feel like everybody's starting to stretch it just a little too much to make it work. So that's just my thought there. Just don't think it's really much of a route to go down on. Kathy says, my last name, maiden name was White. People had the worst time with it. When they did, their puzzle look would say, I like the color. And it was very still confusing. That's funny. Lee is a name that gets wild with spellings. Lee. Come on. Very true, but I would say Brittany is the one with the most spelling variations. I would have to strongly argue that Brittany is the one. Because I've seen the wildest spellings for Brittany. Ritz says, I love Taz. Yes, I used to watch Taz all the time. I don't, just because I don't, again, want to be competing or like subconsciously trying to like respond or counter myself in a different way. I just want to keep it pure to I read something, I was inspired by something, and that's what I want to talk about. That's what I try to do. Egyptian Princess says, I've had my name mispronounced and misspelled my entire life. Cary. I'm a girl. I don't mind. Yeah, sometimes you just have to kind of roll with it. Bebop says Prince William and Princess Catherine and Prince William waited a long time to get married. They were friends first, and then came the marriage, and finally came the family. The Harkles marriage was planned and rushed. No real love. I would agree with that. Harry was in lust, though, definitely. Stephanie said, naming children weird names and weird spellings, normal names would be a sign of a narcissist parents who don't have true emotional empathy. They don't care about how it will affect the kids. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think sometimes people just want to be interesting, and I get it. But sometimes too, it's like, was that really the best choice? Or was that not the best choice? So I always feel like naming someone is like, that's a super big responsibility because I'd want to make sure I get it right. All right. Sun Girl says, I was offered a brochure on a professional development course where in Albany ended up not going. Guess where I later learned it was connected to? Nexium. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think I would be a terrible, well, I say this and you never know because, as humans, we're all fragile in different ways. I would be a terrible person to call because I go, why? Why? Or I logic myself out pretty quickly and I go, this is dumb. So that would just be me. Lori says, my high school English class was with Lori, Laura, Lori, and me. Lori, the teacher was always getting mixed up. Oh, your poor teacher. That would be hard. My last name is Imbergamo. It's a long Italian mess. It's phonetic, but nobody can pronounce it. And I always have to spell it out. I like Gretchen the First better. It makes me feel like royalty. Yeah, I kind of like Gretchen the First because it's like, Gretchen I. I mean, I can see that, but that's kind of boring. I probably Embergamo. I would guess now that I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to slow down and use my phonics skills that are minimal at best. But I like the Gretchen the First. Don, hi, Brittany and Pippa. Hi. Egyptian person says, I bet Harry has trouble sleeping. How can he live with himself? I think I would imagine he does. I think his life is stressful. Kathy said, our son heard or last name spelled so often when someone asked his last name, he would say his first name and then spell his last name. He could do when he was 2 or 3 years old. That's funny. That is funny. Flicking Bollock says they could get a radio controlled model jet. That is true. They could definitely have that. Rit says Celine Dion's departure from Paris during the Olympics was wild. Private jet, staff, flight attendants. She hugged and kissed everyone. Thank yous. It was something. Queen. Yeah. Mr. Man says, even if you're a billionaire, you need to be flying a few times a week to justify the expense. Yeah. It's like a huge, massive expense. Like you need to be like well into the net worth of close to $1 billion, if not more, to justify a private jet because they are incredibly expensive. Now you can do I think there's something to the effect of you can kind of do like I don't want to say it's a timeshare, but similar, where a group of people, they all have money, but they don't have enough money individually to buy a private jet. But as a group, they can, and then they kind of trade off using the private jet. I think that's something that exists. But Harry and Meghan definitely do not have enough money for a private jet. Alana says, my parents combined their names to make mine. El from Elmer and Anna from Diana, and called me Alana. I didn't like it as a child, but now I love it. That's very sweet. I like that. Charlie says, Taylor's net worth, according to recent Forbes release, is now closer to 2 billion. Her net worth is something like 1.6. That's crazy. Lanelle says, have a great time in Europe. Last year at this time, I was getting ready to leave for Europe in a few days, and I was sick before the trip and exhausted. Oh no. A. Bertasso says, my first name is actually Gina. I use my Italian grandmother's name on YouTube, use it here and places. My legal last name is not needed because no one gets it. It even messed up my college registration. Oh, that stinks. Gina says, Brittany, my husband is 60 years old and have been married 34 years, and we still hold hands everywhere we go. We have a beautiful and respectful marriage. Yeah, I think again, I think I come back to sometimes where it's like professional versus personal. Like if you were at a work event and you worked at the same spot, would you be holding hands the whole time? Like probably not, because it's just not a professional thing. Egyptian princess says, I'm part Norwegian. How embarrassing. Yeah. When it comes to everything, yeah. Flicking bollocks and both. Bebop says John Travolta used to have a 737. Yeah, he had a big plane. Raz Mataz says, hi Brittany and Miss Pippa. Do you plan on buying anything from Arrow if and when it ever launches? I plan to boycott her. She won't get a penny from me. I may get something to review, but it depends on what it is. Like, I actually got a whole bunch of rosé wine because I thought she was going to come out with rosé wine in a decent period of time. And now that's not going to happen. So now I'm stuck with all this rosé wine and I don't really drink wine. So what am I going to do? I don't know. So I got to figure out what to do about that. So, all right. Inside Voice says, Brittany, is the Norwegian media holding the royal family to account for this situation? It's kind of complicated. I got actually an email from someone. I have to read it again because I've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to, from actually somebody in the Norwegian media, sharing something that they have about him. So it's like, it's hard because some of the outlets don't want to push too much because they don't want to lose their access to the royal family. And I understand too, you don't want to get too into like the gossipness of it all. But at the same time too, I really do feel like it's something where there are serious questions that have been raised and they need to be answered. So I think that's it. All right. And Matthew says, I get the Kate frustration, but to find RNN videos means dealing with the algorithm. It is true. It is how Brittany gets the money. And if there are over 1,000 people watching, but not all have hit the like button, let's get it done. Yeah. It's like one of those things where sometimes too, it's frustrating because I think I tried to do like Duchess Kate or something. And that was when she was still the Duchess of Cambridge, and it just didn't work. And sometimes if the videos on Catherine and William, they don't do well, I don't do them. And I know people want them, but if they don't do well, it's harder to justify doing them. And sometimes you just gotta try to split the baby the best you can. And that's what I try to do. Dawn says, Catherine is so classy. Meghan is so classless. So agree. Mary says, I agree with you. Have to be educated in UK to hold the titles. I think that's a simple thing. All right, Peeper Jean, thank you so much for the tip. As a big thanks for all the hard work you put into your amazing channels, I would like to contribute to your hot cocoa budget. Safe travels. Why, thank you. Yes, I will be searching out a lot of hot cocoa. And I'm so excited. And this is a weird thing. And it's one of those like in Europe, they still have something from Starbucks called signature hot chocolate. So even if I go to Starbucks, I'm super excited because I can get signature hot chocolate, which is better. It's richer. Yeah. So we'll try to wrap up here in a minute because I got a lot to do today. Rich says, Maxima's flamboyance is wild. Love her, even her crazy outfits sometimes. Yeah, I love Max. She is so over top and ridiculous. I love it. And she wears the big gems really, really well. She wears the big hats really, really well. I don't think all the ladies can pull them off, but she loves it. And that's why we love her. Creative Chaosify says, do you think Lady Louise and her brother will ever join as working royals? I don't think so. So let's keep going. Tal Rules says, hello. When will you be in London this year, Brittany? Just in a week. So Katie says, well, a couple days really. Katie says, I just find it hard to believe that the paparazzi with all those long lens thousands of dollars, cameras can't get a picture of the children. There's something very amiss. Yeah, I just think it's a reflection of the fact that Meghan controls all the paparazzi pictures pretty much, which goes to show that she arranges them all. If they don't ever catch the kids and stuff like that. Because I have what's actually in my other room. I have a big lens, guys. It's 100 to 500 lens. It's a big lens, huge, costs a lot. Like, I mean, it's not outrageous, but you can get lenses that cost 20 grand. Like those lenses do exist. I don't have one of those. I wonder what every once in a while I was like, should I do like a fundraiser for a lens I want to get? I was like, because sometimes they're just really expensive. But anyways, all that to say is that, yeah, they definitely can get pictures, but they're not with the kids all that much. I think that's what it proves. Liz E says gifted 5 Royal News Network membership. So I thank you so much, Liz E. I'm sure people really appreciate it. Again, got a vlogging camera this time. Really excited to get a couple things done. Sharon says you don't have to read every single comment. I just really try to because people put in the time to write the comments. So that's why I try. Debbie Darling says, hi, Brittany. I didn't know Catherine couldn't legally change her name. Why not? Inquiring minds want to know. Thanks. So yeah, it's something to the effect of only a blood royal. So that means somebody who is born of royalty can have and use the surname Mountbatten Windsor. So Meghan can't use it. Catherine can't use it. Sophie can't use it. Sarah can't use it. Diana couldn't use it. And when it comes to the titles, let's say, in other countries, like the women who marry in are given sometimes the title of princess themselves, whereas Catherine and Meghan and the ladies within the British royal family, they are just using the courtesy title of their husband. So they don't hold the individual title themselves. They can just use the title because their husband has it. So when it comes to Catherine, she is Catherine, the Princess of Wales, because William is the Prince of Wales. She is not given the individual title Princess Catherine. It doesn't exist for her. It's one of those things. Royal Daily Tea, hello. Good morning, Brittany. Enjoying your show while I get ready to visit my dad in the hospital. Keep up the good work. Why, thank you. I hope he is doing well. We have Randy Van Rokel. Have a wonderful time on your trip. Why, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the flight because I never sleep on planes. It's an 8-hour flight. I'm like, but it'll be fine. At least for right now, there's nobody right next to me, so I'm hoping that's still the case. Mega Catcher says a Whittard's hot chocolate recommendation. So according to my mother, who I just made a hot chocolate for her not that long ago, she absolutely loved and adored the coconut hot chocolate. She was like, oh my gosh, I want more of that. Unfortunately, it's sold out online. I pretty much like any of them. I mean, I really prefer their traditional luxury hot chocolate, but the salted caramel is good. The coconut's good, like I said. They had a couple of flavors. They've taken a couple of them away, like as they've adjusted and stuff. So, but I really love the coconut. I loved they had a Christmas one last year. I'm hoping that one might be available in store. I'm definitely gonna be looking for that. I'm gonna be looking for coconut for my mom because she's like, I want that for Christmas. So I'll be looking for that. My cat's name is Karen, says my daughter is an amateur photographer. Also, I got her an old school Canon Rebel a few years ago. That is awesome. Rebels are great cameras. They're definitely great cameras. Mega Catcher says you should do a royal fashion Black Friday video like Emmy London, Strathberry, DeMiller. All are having sales. Yes. Yeah, I guess I could do it that way too. I have an idea for something, but it's kind of hard because some of them I can link easily in videos and others I can't. Netflix, and Matthew says Netflix refused to do his executive producer titles. They didn't do the work. You look closely, you'll see the credit actually reads executive producing, not a real thing. I'll have to look again. Bebop says my colleague's husband is a private pilot and he flies the husband all over the world for business and then flies the family on vacations. His client is super rich. That is super cool. That would be awesome because I hate flying on I hate like overnight flights. I really do hate them. Especially as I get older, I'm like, oh. Jesse says, last time I flew, I had the whole road to myself for the 9-hour flight. I stretched out on all the seats. Yeah, I'm really hoping there's not somebody next to me because I should get the window seat because you can more easily lean on it to sleep. But I also am claustrophobic and I hate the idea of being stuck and not being able to move. So I have mixed feelings about that. Sharon says some of our comments came too late to what you're referring to. I'm a big fan of your content. Why, thank you. Yeah, it takes a while. So I love it. So anyways, guys, we will go ahead and wrap this up because again, I got errands to run. I got to pick up my discs that I got on sale at Best Buy. My SD cards, or this is a CFS Express card. CF Express card, not CFS. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and you shall be hearing from me very soon and throughout the trip. So guys, thanks again and I shall see you soon. Bye.